get to do the talking. All right, we're going to keep this going. This next guy you're going to absolutely love. So give it up for Rafe Epstein!
Hey guys. I wanna thank my friends for coming. I wanna thank my family for coming, and I wanna give a special shout out to my grandma. We drove here together from Maryland. Yeah, I'm a great guy. So like I said, I'm from Maryland, right? And now I'm here in the city. Okay. I always thought it was like a little pretentious to call your city the city, but. I understood, the other day, I think it was yesterday, 2 days ago, I was looking up, I'm staring up at like this really tall building. I'm like, it's the Empire State Building. It wasn't, it was just some tall building. But I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit, I understand why they call this the city that smells like shit. Sorry, I had to make a New York quip. Anyways, my name is Rafe Epstein. No relation. And it's kind of frustrating having the last name Epstein because people are always trying to draw a line between us, right? But it offends me, like, how dare you insinuate that I'd stoop so low, that I'd have so little respect for myself and those around me, that I'd work on Wall Street. It's ridiculous. But in all seriousness, Jeffrey Epstein is a monster. And aside from the physical harm that he inflicted on his victims, he also inflicted psychological harm on his victims, right? Like, I've been called Rape Epstein since 2017. Okay, enough Epstein jokes. So I'm a college student. I live with 5 other roommates, right? And I love living with roommates, You can build like a lot of camaraderie, right? Like we have this tradition. Every Tuesday morning we wake up, we make ourselves nachos, we lay in recliners and we watch documentary, nature documentary, Epstein documentary. Isn't that lovely? That's lovely, right? We're all unemployed, if you can't tell. Anyways, but there are downsides to living with roommates too, right? Like the smell, Like, I don't know if you guys have ever thought this thought, but there are times where I will walk into a public restroom. Shit, I wouldn't mind spending the night, like, right? And I think that there's this stereotype, that like guys are messy, girls are clean. I really don't think that's true. I just think that girls do a much better job of hiding it, right? Like, a guy's mess is everywhere. A girl's is just localized to her bathroom, You go in there, that shit looks like fucking war-torn Afghanistan. Blood on the walls, hair in the sink, something half-living running around. Right? But I do live with roommates. I miss my mom a lot. I love living with my mom. My mom loves the shit out of me. And she loves me. So let me tell you a story about my mom, right? So when I was growing up, I used to have this persistent nightmare about spiders, right? Spiders would crawl up all over me. It was a really overwhelming dream. And I tell my mom about it, and just for some context, my mother's a very frugal woman. Now, for those of you who don't know what the word frugal means, it's just like a really fancy word to say Jewish. And I'm sorry, Grammy. She's glaring at me. She is glaring at me. But yeah, so I tell my mom, right? And she goes to a therapist, right? She tells the therapist what's going on. She says, my son, he's having dreams about spiders. And the therapist looks at her very tenderly. She says to my mother, if a boy is having persistent nightmares about spiders, that means he has overbearing women in his life. Right? But my mom was shocked. Who could she be talking about? My mother is also very smart woman. So she runs a series of tests. Test number 1. I had female teachers at the time. She switches me with male teachers. Dreams persist. Test number 2. Sends my sister to boarding school. Still kept having the dream. She even kicked my grandma out of the house. And I kept having the dream. It was this shocking thing, right? Well, until one day, I go off to school, I go off to college, I call my mom, I'm like, holy shit, Mom, like, I I haven't had this dream in months. She came to the only logical conclusion. Therapy is a fucking scam. Right? Okay, I guess I have extra time. Can I do an impression for you guys? I want to do an impression of my grandma the first time she saw that I pierced my ears, okay? So I want you to imagine that I'm sitting at the kitchen table, right? And she walks in over here, okay? So she walks in. She looks. And then she says these words, they're drilled into my brain. She goes, it's not that earrings look bad on all guys. It's just that you picked the tackiest pair. And they don't fit on your dumb head. I love you, Grammy. Thank you, guys.